Yeah,
Hey,
man.
Jay told me it's okay if I don't wear pants under the mic.
Bro,
Is that right?
bro, well, sure, yeah, man. Whatever floats your boat, dude. Just don't, just don't whip it out on camera. We gotta go on YouTube. Outside of that, bro, we're fucking rock and roll, dude. I don't care.
Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to KNR.
Woo, 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 woo.
Today we sit down with our best friend, right, Raul?
Well, if you ask Jonathan, 100 out of 50 are all his best friends.
Everybody's my best friend. He, she, everybody. Miguel, you're my best friend. Today we are joined with Carlos, aka Epingu.
AKA the birthday boy.
Happy birthday, brother.
Bro, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, man.
Welcome aboard the KNR experience.
The KNR
Please
experience.
keep all hands and legs and
Seatbelts tucked in or what? So what's up, Carlos? Happy birthday.
Man, it's good. It's good to be alive, bro. It's good to be alive. I'm 25. You know, they say you're supposed to get it together by now, right?
Or so they say, right?
Nah, it was nice. I was hanging out. It's kind of a funny experience. You hang out with your parents all the time. You kind of get away from them for a while, and then you're like, yo, you know what? They're not so bad, you know? I started laughing harder at like the old same jokes that they've been saying. It's kind of interesting. And then like my like older like aunts and stuff were there. It's like kind of an interesting experience. And then they all started talking about conspiracies, and I'm like, wow, you kind of know what's going on. You kind of know what's
Everybody's
going
a
on.
conspiracy theorist at this point.
That's
bro.
what I'm saying. It's like,
Everyone.
is this like something that's going on? Like,
Oh
even,
man,
even the old people?
it's a very contagious thing right now, for sure. It's just how deep are you in the conspiracy theories, I think, at this point.
How deep
It's like a
inside?
part. Yeah, it's like a part of the culture now. Even
Yeah, no, but like there's levels to this shit, you know? There's like,
yeah.
oh, bro, there's levels to this shit. There's, it starts off with, oh, that looks a little weird. Oh, there's a subliminal message on a TV show. Then it gets a little lower. Oh, my friend told me this. I don't know. And then it gets to, I read a headline on Twitter, so I know for a fact it's true. There's levels.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean the world stage is interesting enough. I haven't watched movies in a while, but yeah, it's a great setup, man. It's a great setup. We were talking about earlier. It's like the actual people that are all around and everybody that you're hanging out with. Everybody's just a part of your experience, and you know, like most people, from what they're born in, from where they're brought up, that's what they create. It's like their experiences, and a lot of things pretty much they might sound crazy, but to them sounds like exactly what they wanted to hear, you know.
Right. Absolutely.
I've been evolving. It's really all about who you hang out with. That's the thing. It's like that one brought me back to when I was like with hanging out with Jay, and you know, in those days. And we were actually, when we first started doing photography and started doing like pretty much just doing our own thing, like finding out what it is that we wanted to do, you know, and like pretty much just like exploring our you know, our talents or our interests. So when he actually said that, it brought me back to like thinking about like the podcast, like Jay, what he's doing right now, those times, like, you know, photography, and just like how far we've come too, not just like reminiscing, just like how far we've come.
Yeah, man. It's never a straight line, you know, like
Yeah.
it's never the path that you think it's gonna be. So sometimes, you know, you see these turns, curves, setbacks, etc. And man, you're like, wow, we ended up at a point that maybe we didn't even think about, but it's a farther point than what we planned at times, you know?
Most definitely, man.
Really?
And like I feel like that's the fun
Really?
of it. That's the fun of it. Most people like think too much about the destination, whereas
Absolutely. All right.
you're really gonna cut yourself off.
All right, Carlos. So it's your birthday. You're turning 25. That's wild.
It's a journey, bro. It's been a journey.
No, well, that's actually what I want to ask you about your journey. I know that you've been through some turns and paths, expressways, pauses,
Oh
etc.
yeah, no, I've been through it all, bro.
So you farm now.
I guess that's what they do, bro. Like once you give up and you realize like the realities of like what's going on, you're like, you know what? fuck all that shit, bro. I'm gonna go grow some fruits, grow some herbs. I got no play in all that crazy stuff that's going on, you know?
Bro, I think it's the best thing you could do right now.
Yeah, great
No,
timing on that, bro. Honestly.
no, yeah. Actually, it's kind of funny that my life has always been like kind of like falling into place exactly as it should be. And it's one of the things that I've realized in the last couple months. It's like, and like I brought the gratitude for it too, because like, bro, that's just a blessing. That's just a blessing, you know. Like even with my birthday today, I was like, I've been like real, like not to say emotional, but like trying to be like more connected to people in a sense. And you have to be emotional to do that, you know. You put yourself in a place of sympathy and like try to like actually like see and care and like, you know, understand how people are like feeling and, you know, the love that they have for you, especially when it's your family and stuff like that, no matter what misunderstanding you might have with them, you know.
I absolutely agree with what you were saying, but I think that goes into correlation with, you know, you not being a kid anymore, you growing up into adulthood, and then you view them as more of just, oh, that's my mom and dad, you know,
Right,
your
right.
friends, you know, you guys, you don't lie about your lunch money anymore, right, or whatever, you know, you talk about your dates and your adventures with your friends, and you just relate. They're your friends.
Yeah, of course. It's more like, I mean, relationships in general, they're a choice. And, you know, you
Absolutely.
choose how much you want to continue to connect with people, you know, how much I want to continue to hit up Jay and see what he's up to, you know, how much you want to continue to do certain projects with people. And your parents, it's also a choice, but it's less of a choice because of the blood factor. So society, you know, society will say you have to continue to take care of your parents. But really, it's all about the love you have for them. And for the most part, I would say most people love their parents, you know, like they have a great connection with their parents. And that's what it turns back to, like all the gratitude that I've been giving back. Like I've had great parents, like I've had a great life. I've made a bunch of dumb choices and a bunch of dumb mistakes. The cops used to love me, you know.
Hmm.
I've used to do a bunch of dumb things with a bunch of dumb Miami people, and it's cool. It's fun to be dumb and young and have a great, you know, Rolodex of experiences and fun times to look back. But it's also time to like, it's also important to reflect and see what's going on, you know. And I feel like that's what it's come to. And I mean, for me, the farming thing kind of started as like an access to like really cool fruit that I had no idea about. You know, like I had no, you know, I had some fruit I had never even seen before. I was like doing volunteering here, which the company like Miami Fruit, I don't know if you guys know about them. They're super cool. I don't know. I got to bring you guys some fruit so you actually like see what the difference is between like store-bought stuff as opposed to like organically grown, you know, like hand-picked,
Most
you know,
definitely. I've
really,
seen through
really
social
good stuff.
media and through I think Gino. I was talking to Gino a couple of days ago about, shout out to Gino,
Shout out to Gino.
about some
That's
fruits that he
nice.
actually got from you. And he said that they were great, that they were awesome, and can't wait to get some more. And I was like, damn man, I gotta jump on that.
But yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah. But
I've seen.
ultimately, I fell in love with the farming lifestyle, dude. It's beautiful.
Were you because I know you don't eat meat now, right? You're a vegetarian.
Yeah.
Were you already a vegetarian when you started
Yeah.
exploring
So
farming?
so yeah, that's part of the crazy journey. So like David, we
Yeah.
started doing the martial
Shout out
arts,
to that guy too.
and we got
Shout out to
hard
David.
into it, and like we got into the point where we didn't even care about money at that point. We were just like, and that's what like part of the craziest. I used to be so worried about my financials and like, oh, I gotta be a millionaire. You know how it is out here in Miami. Everybody's got a nice car, so you gotta come and show up with something too, you know. So I was always eager to like make money, and my father's been an entrepreneur his whole life, so it was interesting to like, you know, kind of like now step into the world and kind of see what's out there. And you know, I made great money coming out of high school doing server jobs and also doing a bunch of stuff on the side, but you know, I wasted it all on fun experiences and stuff that I barely remember because of too much alcohol or whatever. But ultimately, that's what I knew I wanted to be in, is that like actual entrepreneurial world. So once you start kind of like getting into that lifestyle, you kind of start to be aware of more different things. And then the martial arts went to another level because I got there also doing business with the grandmaster, and I also fell in love with that. And once we kept training and training, we just forgot about money, forgot about all the finances, forgot about business, and we started training on ourselves. It was like meditative in a sense, because you really have to step away from all your connections and you have to focus on your body. If you're throwing a kick the wrong way, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna know. Well, aside from the mirror you have right in front of you, you're gonna feel like an awkward taco. Just like, oh my God, what is that? Like this little black belt kid right next to me looked graceful. Why do I look like such a? Oh my God. So then you start working on yourself. You start kind of like realizing like all the things about you that are wrong. And then even in that, in training so hard, it overlays into how you're eating, you know, how you're living. Did you rest that day or did you go out to drink, you know? And that's where our discipline kind of came in. I feel like that's where a lot of the martial arts discipline entails, because it's like you kind of start realizing all the basic little minute metaphors of life. Where it's like, yo, if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be doing good, you know, like little things like that. And like even training nunchucks, you start training nunchucks and you start getting hurt. Obviously, like anytime you train a weapon, you're going to get hurt. First thing they'll tell you if you train with knives or swords is if you're scared to get cut, you're never going to be a swordsman. But that's part of life, you know, you get hurt. Are you going to stop working on what you got to do? Are you going to stop trying to master your nunchucks, you know, your tools, your weapons?
Are you a swordsman? Are you a swordsman?
Not yet, dude.
No,
Swords are hard. Swords are hard. I've
Raul,
been training
Raul,
hard
are
on
you a
them.
swordsman?
Bro, I'm super ready to get cut.
Yeah.
I'm super about this. Absolutely. I'm a super swordsman.
I know you guys probably train the swords a lot, but I've been working on my bow staff. I've been working on the regular nunchucks.
No, I don't. I'm
But
not
I'm
ready.
actually back to finances now. So like I get like I took a little spiritual break. I wanted to be a millionaire before 25. I'm nice way there, you know, more closer than I've ever been, I'll tell you that. But I'm not rushed anymore. I've realized that like doing the things that I want to do with my time is much more important than having money or having certain things. And like that's like I feel like the most important part of the journey is like choose your journey, you know, choose your path. If you let somebody else choose your path for you, it's gonna go the wrong way. You're never gonna like it. You're never gonna feel content. And then choose it wisely, you know, because that's what it's about. You know, the destination is never gonna make you feel fulfilled, you know. But you know, learning about farming, getting to experience martial arts just through like my marketing, but then also like falling in love with it, you know, getting to work with my brother for a long ass time and his jet ski company. Like his jet skis are insane, and just like being able to like go into that lifestyle. And like these people, all they do is like work on their jet ski and be out there on the weekends, and it's just crazy to like have witnessed so many different lifestyles and like so many different people that have devoted themselves to something so fully. And it's like it's what they love. Like my grandmaster started doing taekwondo at 12 and never stopped, and now just runs his own school, and that's all he does. You know, he trains people. He's a vice president of like the Murukwan Korean Taekwondo Association here in Central America. Like that's just like crazy. My brother never went to school, never did anything. He just loved engines. He used to race cars. Like he used to like take engines apart, put them back together, and just race them. He used to get in trouble for racing in the streets. So he's like, yo, you know what? Let me take my jet ski engine apart and I'll go race in the ocean because I can't get pulled over in the ocean.
Yeah.
And now he's breaking world records on jet ski engines, and like they're going.
Yeah, I remember you were extremely into jet skiing for like a year, maybe two.
Oh, I'm coming back. I mean, I still go out every now and then. I love the water. I'm trying to go back like every Sunday to the water on a new jet ski that I'm trying to get. But yeah, I'm trying to do like rentals and stuff here. But it's all work, dude. It's all hard work. The Miami lifestyle is not what it's like, what it looks like
A
on
hustle,
Instagram.
man. It's a hustle. Yeah, you got to keep on. You got to.
No,
Yeah,
it's all you don't stop moving, and it's a house of cards. I mean, look at what's happening here now.
Yeah,
I don't know.
today's going good, and tomorrow you don't know.
No, but I mean here, like in Dade County throughout the pandemic and all that.
Oh yeah,
Everybody's
most
scrambling,
definitely. The house
panicking.
of cards, it's more like a house of wild cards out here. You know how it is, bro. The people in Miami are I feel like that's what it's bred from. It's like that culture of like, oh, I gotta get it. I gotta,
Hustle,
like
yeah, dude, the
I
hustle.
see the Ferrari right next to me, and like it kind of breeds this kind of like disconnect where you don't have compassion for your brother. You know, you don't realize that he's also trying to get it too. And like if we work together, we might be able to get it quicker. You know, and then
Yeah.
it kind of breeds this mentality of like I only care about myself, and I'm only out here to you know like to take care of me. You know, if you fix 100 problems around you, you're gonna be a much wealthier man for it. Like people are gonna love you for it.
I agree with that, but I think that that's kind of what's being pushed on people. Well, I can only say that about Miami because that's what I know. But
Right, right.
I think that's a societal culture here. It's not, oh man, we all gotta work together to come up. It's, hey, if you don't get your shit, that guy's gonna eat your meal. So go get it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not healthy. That's very toxic in my opinion.
It's
But I
not.
mean, if you don't know anything different, how could you think differently at that essence? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can totally relate. That's
So
one of the
like
biggest problems.
I just think that, man, like obviously it starts person to person, but wow, like it's crazy to think that that's like the norm. Like for you to think differently than that, you're strange, and that's
Oh
such
yeah, no,
that's
that's
such a
what I
foreign concept, you know?
yeah. No, that's what I was talking about earlier. You were like, "Oh, I've heard so many great things about you," and I'm like, "Well, you wouldn't always hear great things about me. You know, there's other people that wouldn't say good things, and I mean that's part of life. You know, there's good and there's bad.
For sure.
There's always gonna be people that even no matter how nice you were trying to be, you know, to the girl, she's gonna think you were just trying to hit on her, or you know, that friend that you were trying to take care of, and you told him something straight up to his face because that was the honest thing to say and the thing that was gonna help him. It's like, oh no, he's just an asshole. He's whatever, this and that. And like, you know, you're not always gonna come off as the best guy, but you know, you can only try to like, you know, put out positive energies. You know, actually try to help people, and that's that's
Yeah.
what it comes down to. You know,
Yeah.
are
And
you
then
really trying to put out positive energies, or are you just trying to like look out for yourself? You know, you're just trying to take away somebody else's stuff for yourself. You know, and it's true because I don't even think like that anymore. It's obscure to me to try to come up or you know try to tear down somebody else's tower just to make mine look taller. You know, to take something from Gary Vee, but it's true. Like, but now I come out into the Miami world and I'm trying to be like extra nice, and it's like because I feel like I'm not even in Miami anymore. I feel like I'm an obscure, like, for people that don't know, Homestead, it's like farmland, like obscure as far west as like almost next to the Everglades. I'm literally as close to like wildlife Everglades as it gets, but it's beautiful. It's like you go outside, it's like super quiet. All you hear is the birds and like nature.
So
You're my
do you live on the farm, or like do you live by the farm? How like
We live like a mile away from the farm in another farm that's
that's
just
close.
a rented like farm that they also buy like lychees from, like because these people were just like will have yeah, he just had like a contract with them, so like they'll bring people in from out of state and he'll like lease the house and we'll rent it out, which I might actually like lease this house and like rent it out myself because the CEO is not trying to deal with all the rent stuff anymore. They were actually originally running operations out of here while the farm was under construction. So we were just like, there's like a separate side house where we're doing all the like pretty much like organizing everything. But yeah.
And
It's crazy.
the guys that are running that, what was it again? You said it earlier. Miami Fruit, was that it?
Miami Fruit. Yeah,
Miami
man,
Fruit.
they're amazing. The guy's a
So
genius.
when you say CEO, you're speaking in CEO in reference towards Miami Fruit, right? Just so that
Right,
we're
CEO,
okay.
and yeah, the CEO of Miami Fruit. It's a very popular business when it comes down to like the vegan world and like the very like aware and like because once you find out about fruit and you really like all you consume is fruit, like there's a difference between like store bought stuff that comes from, you know, exported or stuff that's locally grown. You know, once you start eating locally grown stuff, you're like, wait, this just feels different. Like, not forget about tasting different. This just like I feel better going back to my martial arts workout.
Absolutely.
And that's literally how it started. Like coming back to like the journey whole thing. And it's like me and David started training like 3 hours a day, 6 even 7 days a week. Sometimes we were really taking no days off and like straining our body to a point where we shouldn't have. But we were just so in the thick of it, and we were like young bucks still with a lot of competition in us and still with a lot of heart. It was like probably like 2 years ago. So we went like hard. We were just like everyday training. We became, it was insane to see like our craft been like worked upon little by little, and like seeing us actually develop our skills, but so quickly since we did it so much. We just like, you know how they said that 10,000 hours becomes a master? It's like we were just trying to get that as quick as possible. But we were straining our body. We were like we'd go in the morning and then we'd go for like 2 hours at night.
Oh, completely Super Saiyan. Completely Super Saiyan.
So like imagine like 2-3 days in. Yeah, we were like trying to go step into the hyperbolic time change.
Let's go. Whoa.
Because at the time he was like 240 pounds when he first started.
He was all jacked up on Mountain Dew, bro. I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. Bro.
Yeah, and he was like he was looking for it more on the discipline side. He was like, yo, you know what? I'm like trying to like not only eating but like my habits. I want to make sure that I'm doing the right things. Like I'm developing myself and not just wasting time on stupid things. And that's like super respectable for you to be aware of that and be like, you know what? You know, I need somebody and I need something to do, you know, like, and looking for something else to do. Because a lot of people will feel that and they'll be like, oh my God, I hate what I'm doing. Like, or like, you know, I want to do better things, but they'll never schedule it. They'll never be like, you know what, let me see what like martial arts classes there are. Or like, let me see, you know, what piano teachers there are around here. Cause I've always wanted to take piano. Like I picked up the guitar and I'm getting like decent at it. Coronavirus, staying at home, chilling, like, you know, let me pick up a new skill. But like, even then, like, it was funny because I was like self-isolated, pretty much doing my farming stuff. Like, you know how far away home.
You got a head start. You got a head start for sure.
I did. When like the whole thing happened, they were like, you're supposed to stay at home and like don't go anywhere. I was like, okay, keep farming. I was like, okay. But it was still pretty scary. Like I was.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Carlos, but has business gone up as since coronavirus? Yeah, because people are trying to eat healthier, right?
Yeah, that's the part of like that's how they have like not even healthier, but it's also we're like a shipping delivery business. Like we'll ship organic, freshly grown fruit to your door, and like I'm not gonna twist it on you. It's expensive stuff. Like they're also very like conscientious on their farmers. Like we all get paid very well. You know, not very well, but like, you know, better than a minimum wage or like something that you would pay an undocumented worker to like come in and work at your farm. Like most of the other farming industries, that's what they're practicing, you know, like for you to buy food at the store, you know, you're funding some type of like farmer, you know, exploitation because, you know, what's going on in Mexico to get your Hass avocados. Let's not talk about that. You know, I don't want to take that twist.
Undocumented, yeah, straight undocumented.
But it's just about that's awareness right there to like an extreme level that's like maybe even too extreme. It's like a rabbit hole that like how far down the rabbit hole of like being sustainable and conscious can you really get? It's hard, but yeah, there's people like I've been actually open to that reality. Like, there's people that are very aware to that stuff.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, well, if you just go to the grocery store, you'll notice that it's literally the one same brand. There's only one type of one brand of apple. That's it. You got one. So there's not only one apple farm out there, for example.
Let's not even say that. There's not even one apple variety. That's another interesting thing that I was like, there's like hundreds of thousands of different types of fruit. Not to mention, like, there's like 17 that are marketed commercially. But there's hundreds of thousands of different ones. And then bananas, even bananas alone, there's like thousands of different varieties of bananas. How many do you know? I knew like 2 before I got here. Now I know like 17 and counting. But it's just like, even that's just like stuff that's not talked about, you know, that's not what's marketed, you know. They market all the junk, you know. But that's where like the martial arts brought a lot of awareness towards. It was like, first it was like ourselves and our physical appearance, then it was like our internal and like what we were eating and how that was implementing our brain, you know, like we were eating good, so then our brain started feeling good, and then I just kept rolling from there, you know. Like I don't know how far David took it, but I just kept doing research, and I was like, damn, like okay, if I started feeling better after like not eating certain types of food, like what's in those types of foods, and I started doing research.
It's funny because it's funny because last week we were talking to Tony, good friend of ours, 2 times Poppy Patron. Shout out to him.
2 times Poppy Patron, screaming now.
And there was a point where we're like, you look good, you feel good, you play good, you play good, you win, right? And then if you really think about it, what's before you look good? You got to eat good, right? Mm-hmm. And what you put in your system is reflecting off of you and the energy and what you can do to be successful. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it all starts, bro. That's where it all starts. When people start working out and losing weight, the first thing when they ask you, hey, what did you do to drop that weight? The first answer should always be, I changed my diet. I
Most
changed something.
definitely.
I took
It's not,
something out. I added
and see,
something else, you know?
even that wordplay is like tricky to say. I changed my diet. It's like,
Right.
uh,
What did you
gotta
change?
you gotta realize that it's like the real actual like change was your mental state.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like I changed
Layers,
my
baby.
diet.
I
Like,
love it.
dude, I started caring about myself. Like I
Layers.
started giving a fuck about
It
how I
starts.
looked. You know, I started like to care. You know, I started to actually like pay attention to what I'm eating. Because like
Fuck yeah.
everybody knows you could change your diet. You could change your diet, but if you don't care, next month, next year, you're gonna stop again. You're gonna go back to your other diet. So you change your mind and then you change your lifestyle. Everything that you do. Like once you start kind of caring, you're like, okay, I'm gonna eat better. I might
Kill
go
off.
for a little run, you know?
Yeah.
Let me do
What
this
about
better, you know? And it's
would
like
you
that's where you start changing your habits too. Once you change your habits, you're winning, dude. You're winning.
Yeah.
would you say that but changing your diet did help change your mind due to the fact that you're putting better nutrients in your body and then
Definitely,
your
man.
body is adapting to that better fuel? You know what I'm saying? You're not, you're not putting the garbage oil anymore. You're getting synthetic
Most
grade A
definitely.
at that
Yeah.
sense. So wouldn't that change your thought process, just the way you feel, the way that you perceive things at that point?
Yeah. I'm gonna throw a couple of truths your way. It's very psychological. It's very, very psychological. So yeah, like we all know this, you are what you eat. But why are you what you eat? Think about it like to a deeper level. You are what you eat. Why? Because every organ you have, every cell that makes up who you are in your body will eventually die. You know, it will eventually multiply and die off. What is it going to be made up of? These new cells, the new chemicals that you're adding to your body, the new things that you're putting into your system, they're going to get broken down into new molecules that are going to get fed to almost every single cell into your system. And then that cell is going to get made up of, you know, Bill Nye. I'm going Bill Nye on you guys. But ultimately, yeah,
Keep
these
going.
new cells are going to be made up of these chemicals that you're actually intaking. So ultimately, yeah, these old cells are going to die and you're going to be made up of the junk food that you're eating or the good food that you're eating. So yeah, you are what you eat ultimately, because if all you eat is chemically processed food for the next 7 to 10 years, in the next 7 to 10 years, you are literally a chemical process. But if all you eat is whole foods, organic stuff that you find around in Homestead, and not to mention how abundant Homestead is. A lot of people in Miami are just not aware of the abundance and like what's really going on down here. Like there's so much. Like we can't eat it all, fam. Like we're good. If some crazy stuff happens, we just gotta take care of the farmers out here. We just gotta be loyal to these farmers and protect them, because straight up, there's a lot. But yeah, ultimately you are what you eat. And then and it's true, like this is, you can research this. There are two brains. There are two brains in your body. And it's your gut. Your second brain is your gut. The molecule buildup and you know the little concoction of molecules and of proteins and of everything that's in here in your gut is gonna get fed to your brain. So if you don't keep the right mix up here, you're not going to feed this right, and you're not going to feel good. You're literally going to be depressed. You're going to be sad. You're going to get dragged back into these like bad habits, you know, if you're not feeding your brain good. And there's many different ways to feed your brain, rest, you know, but eating is important.
Yeah, at that point you're fucked, because then you start feeling bad, and then what? You start taking antidepressants, and then you start falling down that
And there's more
pharmaceutical.
toxins.
Yeah, and more
I
shit
don't
to
want to talk about Western medicine is like already been something that a long time ago I threw out the books.
So
It's like once I realized,
are you Rastafarian, brother? You don't take a
Rastafari, man.
yeah,
Yo,
man.
I'm about to be
Sure,
humble.
ever living, ever faithful, King Celestia the third. Yeah, man. I'm sorry.
All day, man. No, man, but it's true. It's true. It started becoming like, once the food became apparent, I was like, wait, what else are these guys like trying to give us that's not really that good, you know?
Yeah, man.
And it's just about everything.
Yeah, it's just it comes to the realization that like you got to take care of yourself. You can't trust anybody out here to really expect them to care about you and take care of you. And like, yeah, eventually you build a family and a community of people that care about you, but in the sense of like, you know, big corporations or, you know,
yeah,
you really just always got to watch out. You got to always look at the back and the label, you know. That's kind of look at the back print, you know. Read the back.
But don't just glance over. Like really look at it.
Glance over, like really pay attention to what's going on.
What's going on?
You
know?
Yeah. If you don't understand something, look it up. Like, what is that? You know, don't just like
It
give
shouldn't be.
up.
It's not okay that people look
It
more.
shouldn't be
Look,
this hard. Yeah.
yeah, people. It's not okay that people look more into what the description of a movie than a description of what they're consuming. Right? That's crazy. That's crazy. It's
And
the truth,
Yeah.
accurate.
though. That's super
That's
accurate.
very accurate.
It's like, come on, and it all starts there.
hmm
Yeah,
It
bro,
all
but they
comes
don't.
down to awareness. But then even that's like those are distractions that are put in your path, and like those are the obstacles. It's like, do you choose to put your energies into, the new movie that's coming out, the basketball game, the drama, the whatever it is. And like, I'm not to say that I never look at those things and I don't indulge in a certain type of other entertainment,
We're human, bro.
but of course, yeah. But like, there's got to be a balance. Like, if there are certain things in your heart that you feel like you want to do, I wanted to play guitar. I've always wanted to do it. You got to do those things. And it's just realizing that you got to kind of like schedule time to it. You got to like say like, oh damn, I should do it on Tuesdays afternoons because I'm not busy on Tuesday afternoons. Okay, so like next Tuesday, I'm gonna put on an alarm. Got it, alarm. Play some guitar on Tuesday. Practice. And like, but it's taking that extra step and like understanding that you have the tools to like build those habits. We have everything accessible to us. Like, look what we're doing. We're like, you're just talking over miles on the computer, recording it. We're gonna put it out live for anybody to see. Millions of people can see it. Maybe nobody can see it, but I know my kids.
Oh, you didn't know that?
20
You didn't know that
years.
we're in the. You didn't know that we're in the room right next to you. You didn't know that.
Oh
You
no,
didn't tell
man!
him?
I'm trying to make this legit. I'm trying
I
to
you're.
make
I
people.
Bro,
thought you
look
did.
right here. Look. You see what I'm saying? Look, you hear me right there.
Oh
I'm right here.
yeah.
Like, oh.
Oh,
Trying
The
to make us.
FBI just texted me. Keep it down. Keep it down.
but just to go
Trying
back
to
off
make
what you
this
were
seem
saying, though,
legit, bro.
I agree with you on what you're saying. It's just, man, honestly, something that I subscribe to is I think that people recognize their failures and their faults, and they're just terrified to change them because we get so used to sitting in them,
Yeah,
for like a better term. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like,
I mean,
people get so adapted to those bad habits, to those patterns, and it's their lifestyle at that point. And
totally.
wow, like how terrifying must that, like how strong you gotta be and terrifying that's gotta be for someone who has never been told they need to change, to look themselves in the mirror and be like, yo, you need to get your shit together, partner. That, fuck.
True.
That's
True.
hard. That's hard.
It is. It is. I mean, I've definitely had a lot of things in life slap me, and I mean, maybe it's just the perspective that I took on it, and I said like, damn, like this means this or this means that, and maybe that's kind of like my take on like why I've always tried to better myself, but definitely, it is definitely true. I'm empathetic to all the situations in the world. Like, it's a lot of people that just don't have the resources to us, and that's why I just go straight back to like gratitude, dude. Because again, like I've been blessed. Like I've had the signs. Like I've had the connections, the people. Like even my father alone. Like I could go to my dad and find anything I need. Like my pops has a nice Rolodex of entrepreneurial connections of years and years and years of people that he's worked with and done stuff with. I can make hundreds of thousands of dollars just working with the people that are in my dad's connections. So like that's a blessing that even a lot of people don't get to have, and like that's something that I understand is one of the most important things is like building those strong connections. Like one of the strongest problems in this world is actually the family unit getting disconnected. And like people not having fathers, people not having mothers, people not having a proper structure to how a kid is supposed to be raised, and times are scary, dude. Times are scary because I see it going farther and farther from what's not to say what's supposed to be the normal, but like what is a nice childhood to have, or like what is a nice
Now,
childhood.
could you imagine growing up like this in these
Dude,
COVID times?
I can't.
Can you
Like I
imagine?
can't. People are not even COVID, but just like being exposed to everything that they're exposed to, not only in the internet but in the world. And then now this whole COVID thing, the
Yeah, on top
psychological
of
like toll that it's gonna take on these kids to
Bro,
think that.
they're developing so much earlier because everything's they're glued to their phones
I
all
mean, you
day.
have access to everything at a fingertip. We joke about it all the
You
time.
got a computer in your hand.
Yeah.
You literally have the answer to everything in your hand at all times. Fuck. Like,
Yeah, it's like, what do you do now, dude? There's
like
what do you do now? You
no, like that's
gotta
something
do some
that I
real
think
soul
about
searching.
often, man. Like with like the rapid rate, like how fast technology is progressing at such a rapid rate. Think
Mhm.
about it. For hundreds of thousands of years of existence, we got fire, you got rock, That's about it. Great. Cool. And then over another few hundred years, we start, we get wheels and we're learning. And over 100 years, 150 years, you go from cars to everybody has a phone. Your fucking house can talk to you.
Supercomputers in your hands. Yeah.
Yeah. Like literally it's happened like that fast over the last 150 years from going to like the car to everything we have now.
Yeah. And the social structures of like the human brain hasn't even caught up to that technological advancement. The ego itself is like the way the ego works hasn't caught up to like that constant capability to access like so much information and so much connection at all times. Like they don't know how to like process that. And like you get dopamine just from looking at your phone and you're like, ha, ha. So how are you not supposed to be constantly distracted with like what everybody else is doing? It's hard. It's a hard task to like step away and actually like find out what you want to do, like who you are, like what are the things that you enjoy to do, how do you want to make your money. That's like one question that like I've been asking myself a lot. It's like money is, like once you have a certain understanding, like I've been blessed to have a lot of education and a lot of experience in just the field of business and making money. I'm not very prolific or paid, but I've come to the point where I know I can make money down many different avenues, but how do I want to make money? What do I really want to spend my time doing? For the most part, it's always been learning a new skill. I learned photography. Through that, I was able to work with a bunch of different companies. I learned jet ski mechanics. And through there, I started learning infrastructure and marketing for business, social media marketing. And then after that, I went to the martial arts. And martial arts is a never-ending reel of learning. I told David, I'm never going to stop doing martial arts until I die, because there's not only for the health implications and not for self-defense at all, but for the continuous learning and the meditative state where you get to take care of yourself. And then from there, going on to this route and the sustainable lifestyle, like learning about how to imagine having a farm where you really don't need anybody, man. Like you have 2 acres or 3 acres or 5 to 10 if you're a nice, handsome, lucky man. And all you have there are fruits and herbs and veggies, and you literally live sustainably off of your own land. The rest of it, the extra, you sell it, you give it away. But ultimately, like, you think about that. It's like a big fuck you to everybody. You don't have to play the society's game. Society says you have to get a house, a car. No, you don't have to you don't have to play society's game. That's, people think I'm crazy for saying this. And it's not to say that I'm not doing it. I'm playing society's game. I'm trying to get my credit up. I want a nice car. But I realize what's going on. I put my intentions in the right place, because I know that if I play the right chess moves, eventually I could have my own farm and I don't have to play society's game. I can have my trees being cultivated constantly and feeding myself and many people around me. And whatever businesses I started in my youth, in my 20s, and throughout my life, and the connections I've made will probably sustain me. But even just think about that, having your own farm and just providing for yourself, not having to depend on anybody.
That's your end game, Carlos?
No, man, I don't see. That's the thing. End game is a funny word for me. That's just like one of the steps on the journey, I guess. Like
that's a goal.
End goal? I don't know. I don't have, like I said, I don't have
I wouldn't say an end goal. It's just a goal. It's just one of your many.
Yeah,
goals.
Most definitely.
It's something to keep you moving forward.
Here's one thing. Like, here's like a little note for you to take with you. It's like, I feel like it's everybody's duty, like a duty as a human being. Forget like citizen of, whatever country you're from. Like, as a human being, you should try to grow some trees. Like, give back to Mother Earth. Grow some trees, plant some seeds, as many as you can. Trees that'll probably be here longer than you are. That'd be great. And that's just like a basic duty. And then I realized that lately, it's not something that like, it's kind of like, everybody should plant trees. And this is when I went to like one of the first farmers that I met that's like fully sustainable. And he's like, his farm is like I just described. It's like, everything is in abundance and he just eats from it, and he barely really shops anywhere because he tries to grow everything that he need, or he'll barter with other farmers around him for things that he doesn't have. That's something that I've been like really introduced to very strongly lately. It's like I've always wanted to barter. It's like everything you need in life. If you can trade something that you can offer to the person that has that thing you need, you don't need money, you don't need the system, you don't need anybody else. And it's like, no, it's getting dangerous, but it's like, it's true. It's true. You know, you can kind of like be self-sustainable in that sense. But you know, going back to what we were talking about in the whole end game thing, it's like that's one of the flaws of society's thinking, in my opinion. Like when you start thinking about the end game, eventually you're gonna get there, or you might not. If you don't, you're gonna resent yourself for not doing what you had to do to get there. So it's also like a double-edged sword, because once you get that $1 million, once you get that nice car, and then what? You know, you're there now, and like, does that make you feel happy or fulfilled? You know, is that really the thing that's gonna make your soul like fucking illuminate and transcend into the next life? No, man. Life is gonna keep going. So to think about an end game, to think about like a goal in itself, yeah, it's good to have things to shoot for, but understanding that that's not fulfillment. That's not what you're gonna feel good about. What you're gonna feel good about is what you're doing at the moment every single day. So you gotta make sure that that's something that you want to do.
Yeah,
you know, you gotta. Exactly. Like it's not about not thinking about tomorrow. Yeah, I'm always thinking about tomorrow. I want to have a nice farm in different countries, you know, in multiple different places in the Caribbean. Now, and one here, you know, I want to have many businesses. If I'm very successful, I'll have, you know, a bunch of liabilities like nice cars and yachts, and I'll try to make them into assets, but by renting them out and stuff like that. But ultimately, I understand that that's not necessary for my life, you know.
Right. Would you say that your favorite area of exotic fruit is the Caribbean?
Most definitely. Definitely. Yeah.
Can you name some fruits that you like from
really,
there?
The way that it works is guanabana.
I've never heard of that.
Soursop. I'll give you my top 5 fruit. The Annona family, which is like where guanabanas come from, that family of fruits is top. So like you have my number 1 fruit is like sugar apple, also known as like sweet sop, or Annona, it's like the most popular one. Then there's cherimoya, atamoya, and then guanabana, soursop. Those are all Annonas. Those are all top. Some of the best fruit in the world, and not to mention like flavor. They're all like very beneficial for the health. You know, they're very like cleansing, detoxing, alkalizing, all the nice funky hippie words that you want to hear. But like ultimately, yes, they're very good for the health. Then jackfruit, bro. That big old green thing, I could probably go bring one. That big old green thing that you see in all the Whole Foods commercials that has like all the spikes. Jackfruit's amazing. It's actually where they extracted the flavor for juicy fruit gum. So as a kid, I used to be fucking addicted to juicy fruit gum. I would just like the whole pack, freaking give me 15 minutes with that shit and go get me another one. Because the flavor was out on that shit so quick that it's just like, yo, let me get another pack. But once I found the fruit, I was like, wait, what? What is? Well, why didn't you just sell me the fruit, man? Like, this is amazing.
Because they gotta make their money too, brother.
I know, and that's another deep dark hole that, you know, I'll mention after the list of fruit. But
we could get there. I'm super down to go there.
Dude, I'll give you the last 3 then. Monstera Deliciosa, which is crazy, and then egg fruit, which is kind of stout, which is crazy, like cake tasting fruit. And then really
tasting fruit. I'm stunned.
I've never heard that sentence.
Yeah.
It's cake fruit. It's literally like the sweetest thing you've ever had. It's like,
what's it called again?
Well, you could call it egg fruit because of the consistency. It almost like the texture is like a hard boiled egg. But like the Hispanic name is canistel. Yeah,
okay,
dude. And that's the crazy part. There's so many fruits that like just never even see.
Oh shit.
Oh, we just got a picture now. Thank you, Miguel. Appreciate it.
Oof.
But I want to go back to a couple of things you said. First, about the rules of the game and the game of society. Man, I just think that you found out the rules and that you just know how to play the game. I like, not to simplify things, but like there is a rule book to this game, and I think that's a problem people go through a lot. They wanna resent it, but bro, you don't even know how to play. Go read the
Most
instructions
definitely.
first. Try to find them. Now, finding the instructions is a little harder for some people than others.
Especially when they don't come in the box.
They never do. You have to go find them. But
Or
then,
they're in German.
or they might be in German, and you live in Miami, Florida.
Prost. That's the only German I know.
Yeah, man, that's the one thing I've found. Like I said, knowledge is always, especially good knowledge, like the things you need to know in life, it's gonna be hard to come by. And
Well,
and
yeah,
at first
it's
I
not
used to
given to you.
resent that. I used to resent that. I used to be like, you know what? Like, why doesn't I know that the government knows this? Like, I know that these people know these things. Why don't they tell us? And I was like, you know what? Not everybody's. I'm not gonna say not everybody's meant to know, but if you're not even looking for this knowledge, if you're not even like really trying to better yourself, I don't think you are meant to know. That's kind of like what I've been starting to realize. Is like, first of all, I can't get emotionally attached about things I can't control. If it's hard to gain knowledge, then it's hard to gain knowledge. Let's just do the hard work and gain the knowledge. I can't be out here like, why is it so hard? Because often why, the actual question why becomes a distraction. Because there's not. Who the heck are you to demand a why, a reason? Things are the way they are. There's rules to this reality. And you just got to play by them. So like once you start realizing that, like complaining and like asking why, or like trying to take power over things you can't control, like once you realize that is obsolete, like you realize what you actually got to focus on. So it's like, okay, it's like this. Okay, this is what I got to do. Boom, do it. You don't reminisce. And yeah, that's one of the rules of the game that I've like. And I didn't learn this. Like I went to listen to, like, if you listen to me talk and you try to think that I sound prolific, it's like, nah, dude, I just listen to some smart people talk, I'm only as great as the shoulders of giants that I stand on. And even that is like a quote from Einstein. He was talking about like, dude, I couldn't have done anything. I couldn't have realized what I realized. I couldn't have done whatever I did if I didn't have all the smart people before me to learn from, and then put like one little step on top of them. I'm just trying to learn as much as I can, like put one step of understanding on top of it that might relate to my generation a little better. And they might be able to take a little nugget of knowledge home and make their life better.
A nugget of knowledge brought to you
A
by
little nugget
Carlos
of
Del
knowledge.
Valle, the original techer.
The original tequerino. Yeah, man. And it's funny because I've been like pretty inspired lately. Like, so I just write, like, even with no purpose, even if it's just like documenting and like writing. Like, I feel like that's another one of the things that's like been very useful. It's like, you got to use your tools. You have creativity, you have a physical ability, you have a spiritual ability, you have like all these different connections that if you just get distracted and go follow somebody else's dream, like, the job that they want you to work, or the movie that they want you to watch, or like if you're constantly getting distracted away from your dream, then you're not going to be able to fulfill it. You're not going to actually be able to develop yourself.
You can't even recognize your own dream at that point.
Exactly.
Your
That's where
judgment is
people
so
get.
clouded.
That's where people are like, "Oh, I'm so lost. I don't know what I want to do with my life." It was like, well, what have you tried? Like, what do you like? Have you asked yourself the tough questions? Like, like, have you done some experimenting on the things that you do like? What do you do with your day usually? Like, and then you realize that like they just go to a random job, or they just follow around all the rules that like
they just float. You're just floating.
Exactly. They're just floating around what like society tells them that they're supposed to do. And I'm not trying to say like, yo, fuck society and let's break all the rules, but it's like, understand that there's more to that. There's more to like the structure that they're trying to super place. And like, if you go with somebody else's plan, you're going to end up somewhere you don't want to be. You're going to end up somewhere somebody else wants you to be. And that's never a good bet,
Yeah, no, you're right. But I think that just all falls back into what we talked about, man. Is just there's no access to even think about those things. It's literally like you go through the maze, and some of the doors, some of the walls on the maze break, but people are just so scared to find out if they even, what happens if you touch the wall. And I think it goes into like the little booby traps, I guess, of life. Like, example, you watch the news, they're not telling you, hey, try to, figure it out, just be safe, they tell you to
they're
be
not
safe.
talking about exercise, sleep, this,
Your vitamins,
get
fix your
your
diet.
vitamins, eat good, they're not talking about any of that stuff.
It's stay
Like I
home.
said, like I said, you got to take care of yourself. You got to go do your research and find out what is good for you. And then that's where it comes down to, like, oh, do you think like this diet is better than that diet? What do you think no health is agreed upon? It's not only because the pharmaceutical companies don't want you to know what's the right thing to do. It's also because, dude, your body's different. You got to find out what's good for you, what feels good for you. What I like to do in the morning and what I like to eat in the morning might not be what your body likes to eat in the morning. So when you eat it, it makes you feel bad, you know, like, and there's a bunch of different factors that play into that. But, you know, like back into that thing that we were talking about while I was naming the fruit, you were like, oh, I want to hear more about that. And it's like, yeah, it's true. Like, they don't want to sell you the fruit. And the real reason why is because they can't patent the fruit. The fruit is fruit. It's nature's, you know, bounty. But they can patent the candy that tastes like the fruit and sell the shit out of it, you know?
And make 10 different flavors of the same candy.
And make 10 different flavors of the candy and patent all that, and that's it. Nobody else can have this flavor. This flavor of jackfruit is my flavor. You know, it's patent and trademark, and fuck you.
And then you get cavities, and then your dentist gets paid out too.
Everything.
Yeah, I mean,
it gets paid out, and you're just a fucking clown.
Even that, like, holistic dentistry is a big thing. Like, you know, holistic, though you would call it alternative medicine. I would call it the medicine that there should be, because the real alternative was the shit that the pharmaceutical companies invented and Western medicine. That, like, that's what the second medicine was. That's what the real alternative became. But, like, dude, herbalists will tell you all you need is the right amount, the right handful of herbs grown in your own garden for you to stay healthy for years and years and years. You know? But that's not what's marketed either. You know, like, that's why if I fucking step over here, I got the lights with a bunch of different herbs growing and a bunch of different things.
No, you're right.
That's
And
what's
then
kind of like become my focus. But now, like, my real focus is like opening more people's minds to this stuff in a way that, like, they won't be off put by it. You know,
I
because
wonder.
like we're
I
talking
wonder
very
if there are
frankly.
countries. I wonder if there are countries that like require
People to grow their
people to grow
food.
like as a part of life, like, or like growing up, like you know what I'm saying, like, or even like an agricultural class, like at
Yeah,
a like
yeah,
at an
most
elementary school
I would
level. I'm sure like there are some countries in Europe that.
I would love to hear that there is. Yes, I would love to
All
hear
right.
yes on that. But I'm not sure about that. Yeah, we'd have to look it up.
What's up,
But
Miguel? Can you look that up?
we're
One time for
currently
the one
working
time.
on it right now. It's on the
I
way.
love it. I love
But
it.
with that, yeah, man.
I mean, yeah, I definitely
Shout out
agree.
to
I feel like
Miguel.
it should be a part of the educational system
For sure, right? I think it should be. I
of
think you
any
should learn.
society.
I think you should learn exactly how
Well,
to,
I mean, yeah,
at least like basic type of farming. You know, like
basic gardening, even
like a
Yeah,
couple
like
life.
fruits, a
basically,
Yeah,
couple veggies. You know, we're
it
not
should
asking you
be
to like
more
grow,
encouraged.
like,
Yeah,
you know,
like
like
it should be more encouraged, most definitely. Yeah,
yeah,
and like
but then
ultimately, I mean, that ties back to what we were just talking about. Like, you know, the actual how hard it is to find good knowledge. And like, I mean, the educational
yeah,
system is the biggest. I feel like since I was in high school, I was like such a big, I remember writing a whole thesis on this, like for my stupid
really.
IB. Yeah, it was like the flaws of the educational system and how
No,
it's structured, because it's literally structured after the industrial age, like in the industrial era, and all the big factories and big corporations where everybody had, like, you know, you have alarms and you have sections and you have so it's like it's literally the same structure. So you have your subjects and you have an alarm that tells you where you're supposed to go, and then the factory line keeps running, and all the kids are made by batches and they're divided in their years. Like, who says that the best way to teach kids and the best way to actually, like, educate them is to separate them by year? A lot of kids don't learn well with people that are in their same year. They're actually a little more behind, or they're a little more ahead. You know, some people like to learn by themselves, whereas other people like to learn in groups. Like, who's to say that the actual educational system and the way it's structured right now is actually the most effective way to teach kids? And I'm nobody to say that it's not, but
no, but I
uh,
don't think anybody's
it's
saying it
it's
is.
it's my opinion, and I don't think anybody agrees that it is. And it's
Yeah,
not something that's like as talked about as it should be. You know, like the structure of how kids are being educated and how people are being brought up. Like, if you're being brought up to follow alarms and drills and follow orders, like, you know, like, that's
you make a
it's no
great worker
wonder
then.
no wonder people are lost in their
Yeah.
life. They
Well,
need somebody to tell them what to do, you know.
Yeah, well, that's training to become a great worker, to go into that
Exactly.
system
But
of the
there you
game
go.
that's being
So
played.
that's what I meant. So like the educational system itself is modeled after the industrial era because they
Oh,
needed
for sure.
to create all these jobs and all these people that were going to be workers for all these factories. But like you were saying, everything, all the different technologies have developed throughout the years. Like all these different things have actually evolved and become better. But a lot of things, like the health and like pretty much the health, the human, like the health and the mental health field haven't developed. Like a lot of medicine hasn't necessarily gotten better. It's just been more drugs, and even the educational system and the social system and the way that we like behave, the way that people are, and the way the structure like the government is. A lot of these people haven't a lot of these things haven't really gotten fleshed out and like modernized and like actually like structured in a way that's more fitting to the society that we're living in right now. And it's a big thing to say because it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of stuff that I don't know about, but it's most definitely something that people should give attention to. And it's like, because I don't know about it, but maybe the kid that I talk to about it will grow up to be the person that changes the world, or the person that hears about this on this podcast, actually on Sirius XM or wherever it is. They actually have some connection with people in the government, but it's like these things aren't really talked about. People are just talked about whatever distractions on the media.
Yeah, Kanye West going for president or whatever.
Oh
Blah blah blah
God,
blah
it's
blah.
stop, stop.
All that crazy stuff. Like
I
you
love
hear it,
it
and
though.
then
Here's the
you
thing: is like I used to get like really really worked up by it. Now I'm just like, wow, this is such a show.
it's just a
Such a
shit
happy time.
show.
Such a great time to be alive. Like this is gonna be in the history books. I'm gonna try to
First
do.
time it's the
I'm gonna
first
try
time in life where in your life, do you think it's like the first time in your life where you could honestly just take us, like you're looking out from the outside in, right? Like you're literally taking a step back and watching the shit show unfold. You're not serving at a restaurant, weeded with everybody else. You're not part of the shit show. You're just do your own thing and just
and
yeah,
that
like
was
wow.
that was the thing about like this whole thing hitting. And like when I said, I was like, yeah, I was already isolated for like a month before it all started. So it was just like, okay, it was weird because like it's scary to know what's going on in the world. But like when I really started thinking about it, I was like, were I to disconnect and put my phone down, I would have never known. Like, were I to really be a farmer and like I have a homie here, like if he didn't talk to us about what's going on in the world, he wouldn't know because he doesn't go on his phone. He doesn't watch TV. He doesn't. All he does is farm his trees and eat fruit, bro. That's it. And like he likes to play guitar. And he likes to do a bunch of different things. I'm not like trying to say he's a boring guy, but like he's totally disconnected from like the technical society that's been created around internet. And it's like, and I applaud that. But I'm always gonna feel like I'm gonna be in the middle. Like I'm gonna recognize nature, but I'm also gonna recognize the technology is also a very big tool for us to come together and do great things and and share knowledge and experiences with people.
For sure. Well, I mean, I think in a sense you kind of have to. Like, you're
Yeah,
25, Jay's
you have.
25. I'm 24. We were literally that generation, the first like we were that generation that's old enough to remember getting their first
Mhm.
computer, but you're still a kid.
Right. You knew what it was like after, like I mean, before the internet and before that all the craziness, but
Oh, we lost you.
We lost you there, Carlos.
Great
oh,
picture though. Oh, you're back.
Hey girl.
sick. I don't know who was calling me.
Oh no, it's okay.
Sorry.
But yeah, yeah. Like I remember, my first computer was literally I moved all the clothes out of my closet, like to like one side. I put a desk in there, and I had dial up to like play a game. Would take me like 30 minutes,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, yeah.
And if somebody called the house, that's it. That's game blouses. It's fucking over. Game
It's like,
canceled.
damn. Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
it. It's
It
fucking
was
game
great,
blouses.
man. It was
So
great. I
so
used to
so
actually
like
like organize my dad's emails for him.
really? Oh no, I
Yeah.
was definitely. I still can't handle. I still can't do that for myself.
No, that's the crazy part is that like I don't really remember those things. I kind of remember being on the computer early in the morning and stuff like that. But my mom is the one that tells me the story. It's like, yeah, I used to just wake up and like open up his emails and just like organize it and open them up for him and like have them there. And I'm like, damn, I'm not even that good now with the computer. I'm like, I'm trying to edit a video and I'm just like there taking my time and I'm not even that quick with it. I know what I'm doing, but I'm not that good now. But I'm definitely that's another thing that's like in my agenda. I've been actually like studying a lot of like computer engineering and just like
We gotta get back into lurking, bro.
getting into it. That's
The
another one
lurkers.
too.
The
Like I said,
lurkers.
I have a long list of creative talents that I want to continue to work on, and that's like I said, that's the journey. Like I don't have any end goal. I want to continue to do these things that I love to do, and you know, and that's what it's
Yeah.
about. But
I definitely agree with you in that sense about, yeah, I used to have end goals very often. And then I realized, like, like, oh, my end goal is this, my end goal is that. But then I realized that they change. So how really end goal is this if it's constantly changing, right?
they do,
So,
they
and
do.
not even that, like, no, it goes back to about the resentment aspect of that you brought up earlier. I could definitely relate to that for sure. That, like, like you give yourself this artificial timeline. It's not even real.
Hmm.
You made it up yourself for whatever reason you feel
Right.
you needed
Nobody's
to.
putting you up to that. Right.
No one is. And then, and then you're there, you're putting that pressure. I got to do this by then. And then for what?
Hmm.
For what? Like, are you trying to prove it to yourself or to somebody else?
Yeah.
Or something else, even, whatever. But that's not a healthy way to live.
Yeah. It
Like
creates a
you
lot of
literally,
stress, a lot of anxiety.
you already have the world ready to be hard on you. You don't need to be so hard on yourself in that aspect. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? But you do have to put in the time. You have to put in the work, and you do have to set deadlines. And goals are important, but not everything has to be so.
Yeah. I feel like
Um,
it's our attachment to it. You know, like it's important to have goals. Like I don't want anybody to misunderstand. Like I have many goals in my life. But I don't have an attachment of how quick I should do them. I do work at them actively, but it's more about the intention of having those goals and reminding
getting
yourself.
it done.
Because once you're constantly reminded of these goals and you have these intentions, that's what your brain's going to be looking out for. You know, that's what manifesting is really all about. Manifesting is like intention, setting an intention is what manifesting is really about. But when you think about it scientifically, there's actually something in your brain that creates this manifestation for you. It's literally called the reticular activating system, RNA. This little trigger in your brain is kind of like your focus filter, you know? So everything that we go through in a day-to-day basis, if we try to process every single smell, every single color, every single thought, emotion, every single thing that's in our room, in this room right now, or even everything that you're seeing through the screen, your brain would not be able to function because it's too much data. Your RNA focuses on what you give attention to, what you give intention to. So if you're constantly thinking about how, great example, I want to build this jet ski rental company. So I've been thinking about it really strongly. I've been really like putting my attention, making lists of all the things I got to do, starting to do some of the things on the list, checking stuff twice and making sure I start doing the things I want to do. But just in thinking about it constantly, I talk about it more. And I talk about it with people, or my attention and my eye gets brought up. I came up to 3 different conversations of people that I wouldn't have talked about it, I wouldn't have said it, they all are jet ski owners. And, my brother's a mechanic, so I'm always looking out for that. And I'm able to actually help them out with maintenance and maybe possibly help them out with like renting jet skis when they're not using them. And we can all make some money from that. And then I also was talking to my motorcycle mechanic about this whole jet ski operation, and it came up. And then he starts talking to me about licensing, which is something that I need. I was looking for how to do the licensing for actually renting out and like doing this legally. I have a bunch of friends that do this illegally. I'm not trying to get in trouble anymore, but it's a big deal. So even just like having these intentions of doing these things, it's going to bring your focus and your awareness to the things that you want to do. Instead of complaining and taking your attention away from what you really want to do, you're actually going to be actively looking out for them. And so your brain is now going to be filtering out all the bad stuff and focusing on what you want to do, grow your plants, make some money, find out somebody to help you with this jet ski business, and that's how it works in my sense of my life, at least.
Of course. How could you eat your puddings if you haven't had your meats? You know what I'm saying? Like you really gotta take control of your life, bro. Make the proper decisions to get to where you want to
Mm-hmm.
be. You know what I'm saying? And hey, bro, once again, happy birthday, bro.
Happy
Yeah,
birthday.
man. Thanks, bro.
Happy
Thanks a lot.
fucking birthday. Carlos Del Valle, ladies and gentlemen. This is the man with the plan. Let me ask you a question, bro. On the farm, do you guys have any like jokes? Do you guys, because over here we have a bunch of fungi
Bro,
jokes.
we have a lot of jokes and a lot of
Any
stuff that
farming jokes?
I don't think like
No.
farming jokes. I don't know, man. Nothing that really comes to mind. We're just
Uh,
honestly like just walking in and meeting the people at the farm is a joke. It's like you would have to walk in and get a tour of all the characters out here. Like honestly, like they're all amazing people. Don't get me wrong, but we're all just even me. I'm not trying to take myself out of the equation. I'm a peculiar motherfucker, but yeah, man, it's like
no,
everybody's
you're a
so
fun guy. You're a fun guy for sure.
yeah.
Fun
I'm a
guy
fun
for
guy for
sure.
sure, bro. I stand out in a crowd.
That's a t-shirt.
But yeah, man, the people are interesting here, and they're honestly a great crowd. You'll walk in and honestly be welcomed with open arms, but also you'll just get struck by conversations that will actually be very surprising.
What was the biggest what was the biggest misconception you had going into the farm?
Into the farm,
Yeah, or well, just farming in general, really. Like what's
farming in
something that,
general,
that you were just completely wrong about going into it?
that I was gonna be at a farm like on the sun all the time.
Yeah.
It's not as much as like it's not as like hot sun cultivating as you think. Like it's modern day farming. Like yeah, I do a lot of farming, but it's also like getting now these fruit out to people. Networking with farmers, networking with consumers, and like we're a shipping operation as well. So a lot of that networking gets done online. Like I said, like I love the technology because it's able to imagine locally grown Florida fruit all over the nation. Like people that are in Missouri that they've never seen a mamey before, they get a fresh mamey to their door, and it's like for us a mamey is like whatever, bro. I've been having batida mameys at Palacio de los Jugos since I was a little kid, but man, bro, these people have never seen fruit like this, and that's all around the nation. So for us, it's more of like the operations of like the actual technical stuff of running a business. It's not just a farm; it's also a business. And yeah, that was pretty surprising.
No, bro.
Aside from the characters out here,
Yeah, for sure. It's
I,
I can imagine it's a different world.
I literally we have a word. We're like a modern day hippie,
Yeah.
or vegan hippie, modern day vegan hippies. Honestly,
Vegan hippies, and that's the name of your band, or what?
that's the name of the band.
Yeah,
Dude,
modern
it's actually kind of crazy, bro, because a lot of these people are super creative. So a lot of these people will literally bust out into jam sessions like every other Wednesday.
I don't
Oh
doubt
yeah.
it.
What do you play? Yeah.
A little bit of guitar. I literally would just play 3 chords back to back, and that's it. I'm not that good.
Modern day vegan hippies, guys. You heard it first. Breaking news on the KNR podcast.
Why do cows have hooves instead of feet?
I don't know why.
Because they lactose. What did the fun guy say when it moved into its new house?
There's so much room.
There's so much room.
Man, you took that one from Miguelito Papito.
Ah, shout out to Miguel.
Shout out to Miguel.
Shout out to Miguel, man. Hey, and honestly, a quick shout out to anybody that's ever been a part of my life, especially you two guys.
Hey.
Oh,
Super
appreciate
creative,
you.
even though I just met you today, Raul.
For
But
the
yeah,
audience,
for the
me and
journey.
Carlos just met today. So
Shout out to my parents
man.
and the whole gang, everybody who was ever a part of it.
All of
Thanks,
us.
Ma. Couldn't
Thanks,
come out
Mom.
of anywhere else besides you, girl.
Jesus.
That one took me a little bit. Bro.
No, it's okay.
God.
It's okay. But yeah, so what do you, due to the current climate that we're in with the pandemic and all that, you really notice, well, you don't eat meat, but I'm sure that you know about how the meat factories work.
Yeah,
It's
man.
basically 100 to 150 meat factories throughout the nation that really bring you your stuff to your supermarkets. I'm assuming that it might be a similar concept with fruit and, well, vegetables and all that. Maybe not as particular, but a similar form.
Maybe. Well, yeah, to a certain scale, yes. But yeah, a lot. You'd be surprised how much stuff. I mean, that's the thing. A lot. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to speak with a lot of knowledge on what's going on anywhere else. I'd have to talk about Miami.
Of course.
But for the most part, large scale stuff is imported. A lot of this stuff is imported. A lot of it even comes from like China and stuff like that, which
Really?
most people don't know. They think that it actually like vegetables and stuff like that. they'll come imported, and some stuff will be grown locally. But I mean, some stuff will be grown in the States, but most of it will be grown locally. You know, as close to the actual like stores as possible. But I haven't really seen that like the vegetables and stuff taking a huge hit. During
I've
the
seen
start of
fruit
it all,
more.
yeah, during the start of it all, there was stuff that couldn't get shipped in. You know, they were having restrictions on like stuff getting shipped in and imported from, South American or Central American countries, which is where a lot of fruit comes from sometimes for like at least the stuff that, like not necessarily for us, but like for the stuff that's in like supermarkets comes from, most of South America. So like a lot of that stuff wasn't getting shipped in for a little bit, but then everything was fine. But no, not really like a big hit on veggies. I know like the meats are supposedly gonna take a hit, or there were supposed to be scares, but I didn't really see that being a factor, right? Like you can buy meat at stores and stuff. I feel like there was just a lot of fear mongering in the media in the heat of it all. Like there's gonna be scarcity. Go buy
Yeah,
things.
none of those big corporations have really closed down, man.
Yeah.
Dude.
Well,
Yeah.
on whether they
Yeah.
should be or
No.
not, I think it's a different story. But
Yeah.
yeah, they haven't for the most part.
It's
I think the scarcity really happens on depending what time you go to the grocery store. If you go at like 7 o'clock at night, yeah, bro, you're not gonna find a steak. But
really. Oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
And that's another thing. I don't even go to grocery stores, man.
exactly.
Like,
So no,
it's
that's the point
fucked
I'm
up.
making. It goes
I'm
to
so
back to the
disconnected from like how people are really living.
no, but you're not missing out, bro. It goes back to the fear mongering. Why is it that at 7 o'clock I can't go buy a steak? That's kind of ridiculous.
That's also yeah.
Yeah,
You're right.
no, and that goes to the point that I was going to. It's working so local with farmers, and then I did a deep dive on your Instagram. I see that you go to a lot of farmers markets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that that's something? Well, like in your opinion, obviously, do you think that's something that maybe we should transfer to as
Bro,
a nation,
honestly,
really, to like at least like try
I
to
feel like
balance shit
that
out
is
during the pandemic?
yeah, dude. I feel like that is the answer to life, like community living, community growing, and everybody in the community. Like I said, everybody's got a duty to grow trees. Imagine everybody grows something different, and you're able to barter around and like switch and trade, and like you literally every community growing their own local foods and everybody eating healthy. Like that's a dream to some, but I feel like it could be a reality. It's just not what most people focus on. It's not what they envision the future to be. And that's all you got to do is really envision your future. Once you see it and you start working towards it, because things fall into place the way that you see them, and that's what it is. Like I think that is the fix to a lot of these problems.
I
But
think so as well.
I don't think that that's the push for what big corporations want. Like if you see, the biggest factor about this whole pandemic was the further separation and the furthering of the wealth gap. The rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer.
Massively.
Massively.
Yeah,
and massive amounts.
like
Yeah, like if you do the
massive amounts.
numbers, if you do the numbers on how many billions of dollars these billionaires are already making, are making more, it's insane. But and not just that, but yeah, like it's just everything is controlled to the sense of like giving more power to these people that are already in control. But that's, like I said, those are one of the rules of life, one of the factors that you can't avoid. CC is always going to sneak his dirty hands everywhere, and I'm not talking about cox and cocaine. Corruption and capitalism is always going to be somewhere.
Just
People
as dirty, if not dirtier.
It was just as dirty. Yeah, I'm telling you, like people are always going to try to make money out of a situation. If it's good, if it's substantial, if it's valuable, they're always going to make money out of it. And if they're making
Somebody
money
has
out of
to.
it, if they're making money out of it, eventually somebody's going to go corrupt. Somebody's going to try to make more money than the other guy or fuck somebody over. And, it's maybe I'm making that a reality by believing it, but I'm also understanding that life has two sides. The life we live, you have to recognize the duality of it. There's a yin and yang. And with that also comes the understanding that you can't think that evil is going to win. You can't think that these bad guys are going to go and take over the world. The more you think that, the more power you're giving to them. You also can't think that the good guys are going to be the best and that everything's going to be perfect. You got to understand that there's both sides, and you got to see it for what it is.
Balance.
And then ultimately decide what you want to do.
And what side you want to be on? for
Exactly.
lack of a better term. Because hey,
Exactly.
because I look, I don't agree with it personally, but I definitely see the enticing part of becoming a cog in the machine. There's
Yeah,
security.
it's
You feel
easy.
safe.
It's
You,
simple.
yeah, it's simple. You don't have to, and I look and like we're here talking about some great ideas, uh, like the farming around the nation. But then it goes back to, do people even want to do it? Do people even want to put in that work? And then it goes to, I guess, the down talking of that hard work of that. I mean, just go back 50 years. We were the leader in industry. Look at Detroit, bro. These guys
Mm-hmm.
used to make cars, the best
They used to
music,
make it
all of
all.
it. Now you can't even get clean water, bro,
It was the industrial hotspot of the world, and now they're not even taking care of these people.
because the powers that be, the corporations outsourced everything, and that's it. And then what happened? The American people were taught, don't work hard, go get a college degree. You don't want to work hard. You just want go to college, get a degree,
Yeah.
and then
Keep
and then
getting
I don't
told
know.
what to do, you know? Keep getting
Yeah.
told what to do.
And then and then you kind of get left hanging. I mean, not everybody, obviously. Some people, some people need that degree for what they want to do, and then some people obviously succeed. Not everybody, but it's crazy that there really is no guarantee in that whole thing besides the higher risk of failing.
Yeah, especially that being the one thing that everybody's telling you to do. It's like, how is what everybody's telling me to do
That's scary, right?
so risky, bro? Like, these guys are risking it all out here.
Then it's
Betting
like,
the
what are you
house.
doing? What did you do to end up wherever you're at? Like, why should I listen
Yeah.
to you? But like,
Yeah, no, and that's the worst part is that a lot of people are that's the thing. I don't think people are dumb. I don't think people are, I don't think anything bad about anybody. I just think they got fed the wrong plan. Somebody told you, hey, this is your plan. You should do this. And usually the person that fed you that plan didn't have it together themselves or wasn't doing what you want to be doing with your life. So it shouldn't have been giving you the plan in the first place.
Right.
Like, people just get fed a bad plan and then eventually they realize that, I'm going down this career that I don't even like. And why am I driving this car that I hate? And, wearing these clothes that I don't like and going out with this freaking asshole or whatever. Like, people just get fed a bad plan. You just gotta wake up and pay attention.
because you
Wake
do
up,
it for the
awareness,
gram,
dude.
brother. You do
It's
it for the gram.
awareness.
Man.
It's all about awareness, dude. It's all about awareness. And like, it's self-worth too. Like, a lot of people just don't have that self-worth. They're thinking more about net worth and about their own value.
Yeah, Carlos
Then
speaking
there's-
facts on KNR right now.
Actual factuals, Carlos.
Hey man, you wanted it, bro. A lot of people tell me to shut up. So when you tell me to come hang out and talk,
Bro, dude,
you're gonna get the whole thing, man.
we want to hear it,
Let
man.
it out, girl.
We're here for it, bro. Like, look, man, everybody has a tinfoil hat. It just depends how big your hat is. That's all.
Exactly, man. Everybody's got their own perspectives on things.
How big is your hat?
Bro, it's a wholesale boat.
Nah, man. I started building like a whole suit now because
This guy has a tin suit.
it's
He doesn't have a
getting
tin hat.
wild,
Miguel, he doesn't
bro.
have a
He's
tin
a
hat. He has a
tin
tin suit.
man.
I got a
Jordan,
suit, bro. It's like, yo, don't even come up here with that bullshit.
call him the wizard.
What?
The Wizard of Oz, the Tin Man.
Oh. I'm like, what? Why would you call him the wizard?
Because he's dropping facts.
No, honestly, I do feel like a wizard sometimes. I feel like I have a little bit of an untold capability to get the things that I want out of life.
And that's what they called you on the soccer field too. That's crazy. The wizard. That's wild.
But man, so when I was doing a deep dive on your Instagram, I saw that you used to do a lot of photography.
Yeah, man.
Talk to us about that, bro. How was that? I remember we used to go lurking, bro.
I feel
lurking,
bad, bro. I actually, dude, Jay.
He doesn't know what lurking is, bro. What's going on here?
He doesn't know about lurking, man. Yo, the Miami Lurkers. You don't know about them?
The Miami Lurkers, bro.
Yo, guys, like, don't ever call yourself that in public.
We do not take kids out of the streets, bro.
That is like not around me. No, hey, yeah,
We're
man.
not those guys.
Hey,
nah,
the
man.
lurkers lurking. I'll be like, hey, I don't know those guys.
We used to lurk around, bro. We used to lurk around.
Who the fuck?
The randomest spots in Miami, just like finding like back alley like sceneries though, like just like random places though. Honestly, looking back, I'm like, we should have not been running around so young with such expensive
Bro.
cameras. Who are running around with like
Like,
expensive ass
and
cameras?
like going into construction zones and shit.
The hood of
Yeah, bro.
downtown Miami in a construction
Literally
zone, and then
abandoned
we're like,
buildings, bro.
yo,
But,
that
bro,
fucking
if we did see
skyline
that, what the
looks
fuck was he talking
amazing.
about?
Dude, what are we doing? Let's just go under this fence.
We're
Yeah,
lurking.
let's just
Look,
jump the fence, bro. The skyline's
the
gonna look better from
culture.
up there.
The
For the gram, do
culture.
it for the gram.
Nah, man,
Clout.
there was
Clout. I
there was
fucking hate
actually
that
there
word.
was actually a
Clout.
couple interesting nights out there, and like I have some memorable like I remember we caught like a freaking picture of a UFO
A
over.
UFO, yeah, I
You
remember,
remember
bro.
the UFO picture? I don't know, bro.
We were
The
tripping
way
out. We were tripping out. We're like, yo, did you just see that shit? And I'm like, bro, I saw that shit. Like, there's not a doubt in my mind. Like, whatever. Like, I'm not gonna be here. Like, oh my god, aliens exist. No, I'm gonna be super calm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be
Back
super
then
calm.
it
So when they
wasn't.
get here, I just shake their hand.
I've never seen
Yeah,
a UFO, but I'll
back then
be
it
super
wasn't.
aliens exist for
Back
sure.
then it wasn't verified by by the Navy or anything, so it was
Yeah,
like still a big deal. If
They
aliens
exist,
were-
bro. They're out there, bro.
But me and him were just like, oh yeah, we saw an alien today. It was a regular, a regular day.
My tin hat, they're already here, bro.
Oh, bro.
They're already here. That's my tin hat moment. I had a guy, I'm never gonna forget. I had a guy, right before the whole quarantine and everything started. You know, like business was already slowing down. People were already wearing masks. It was people were tripping out. And this one guy came and sat down, and he was by himself. He was very like he's just a weird dude. Cool, nice guy, but very weird. And he just looks at me. He goes, "Hey, man, let me ask you a question. Granted, I'm in the game room with this guy. He goes, "Hey, do you think that everybody in this room is from this planet?" And he looked at me with a straight face, and I literally like, bro, I froze. I'm like, bro, that was the Illuminati guy that hit us up right on our DMs on Instagram.
Yo, we keep talking about this guy like
Bro,
this can't be
it
good.
tripped me out, bro. I literally looked at him. I'm like, bro, you got me right there, bro. I have no idea. I'm not gonna say yes or no because I don't know.
He's like, I cannot answer with certainty.
Yeah.
Who
right?
told you?
And then he whoops out that light, and he's like, here, just look right here.
Bro, I think that the Men in Black are real. Okay, well,
Dude,
maybe not,
imagine.
Will Smith, Tommy Lee Jones going on. Pero some like form of that, absolutely, bro. You don't think
Definitely,
aliens
man.
have come here already? What?
Definitely.
That's fucking gnarly. No, bro. I think they have come already here, bro. What if, bro? Look, what if we're just their Sims characters? Just gonna throw that out. Take it.
Honestly, yeah, man. I've had crazy alien theories, bro. And it's like a lot of times, like a lot of these things are just fun to think about and exercise the mind and its
Oh
creativity.
yeah, no, we don't
No,
know if
you
this is
don't have
real.
to-
That's irrelevant.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I know.
irrelevant.
I've heard you guys talk about it in that sense as well. Like, and it's true. Like, you kind of want to have an open mind to these things, and don't totally shut yourself out, and don't
Of course,
totally
prepare
attach
yourself for everything.
Yeah, don't totally attach yourself to any belief either. I feel like that's like another big like flaw because you're gonna kind of cut yourself off from
That's
a lot
not
of
good
things.
for growth. That's not good
Exactly.
for growth at all.
Exactly.
Like
Like a lot of people think I have all these opinions about things, and I'm like, dude, you're wrong. I don't know shit. Like I don't know. I'm just saying
No,
I've heard this.
That's what it is. It's an
I've heard
opinion.
this, and I've heard this, and this sounds interesting. And I don't know. Have you heard it? I was like, oh no, that sounds crazy. I'm like, but have you heard it before? I was like, no, that just sounds crazy. I'm like, all right. Well,
Wanna know
I
what
don't
sounds
know
crazy to
either.
me?
I don't know.
You believe
It
the
just
first thing
sounds
you read.
crazy to
That
me.
sounds crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to ponder upon all these different things. And it's like, yeah, imagine
have
if
to.
we were just like a farm. Imagine we're just a farm. And it's like somebody out there is like really hungry. And it's like once it hits like 9 billion, it's like, okay, I can eat now.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Sensu boys.
that's
I
a
like the way you
dark
roll.
one, bro. That's a dark one
I
right
like
there.
the way you roll.
That's my
Bro,
type,
but
that's my type of humor. That's my type of humor.
but that's a lot. No, hey, that's bro. I mean, what do we
Yo,
do?
take it in.
What?
Take it
No,
in,
like
relax.
I'm just trying to figure out like a fair way to sacrifice to our alien gods, I guess. Like,
Yeah,
what's up?
I mean,
Like,
maybe like in
like,
acceptance.
do we do a lotto? I think a lotto is the best way to go about this. I think. Like, hey, look, everybody, like we'll do what we should have done with COVID testing. Hey, everybody, here's one to your house per head. Here's your lotto number. Go. And that's it.
What do you win?
Oh, death to the alien
The
gods.
first one to die. Like
You have the honor of being sacrificed to the alien gods.
it's like you're gonna be the first one to like start getting eaten, and then you're gonna like tell everybody like, oh, it's not that bad, or like
It's an honor. It's an honor. We'll give you walkie-talkies to let us know what it looks like inside.
Shit.
But no, I absolutely, bro. I just find it crazy that like that humans, that people are like, oh, we're the best species ever, bro.
Oh
We're
no, get
fuck,
out of here, man.
bro. We're fucking walking meat bags who consistently are just trying to make the world safer for dumb people. Think about it. Like it's a lot easier to be a moron now than it was 500 years ago.
Yeah. No, yeah. Back then, you had to know about farming, defending. You had to know martial arts. You had to know
Yeah,
farming.
everything.
You had to know like freaking like basic everything. You had to like freaking know how to do everything for yourself. Like it's like freaking 1955 Cuba back then,
Minus the Russians.
minus the Russians. Yeah. No,
Oh well,
because
I don't know.
like
Some
you know
Russians
how
are in the USA right now, from what they say. We'll see.
Obama's a spy too, bro. You gotta be careful of
Oh
that.
no, but Obama's a spy from Africa.
From Africa, that's
From
right.
birth, they trained him. They
Oh,
say.
that's right.
Que locura.
In the womb, he was training.
In the womb, this guy was doing martial arts training. Swear to God, I have the pictures.
but it was Chinese operatives that trained him. So he's
From the
actually
womb,
From Africa.
so he's actually a double agent.
bro. At this point, he sounds like a triple agent doing a backflip.
Dude, I don't know what to believe anymore.
I
Right?
don't, bro.
Like-
I don't
Man,
believe.
like, what do
Look,
you
I don't,
mean?
bro. I don't believe
But
that.
last
Look,
week you said that. What do you mean?
not about Obama. Oh no, I believe about a lot of people, but just specifically, no. Last week I defended Obama, and I also said that if it is true, I wouldn't want to know.
Bro, I really just don't trust any of these guys, man.
Oh
And
man,
I'm
how
not like,
could you? How could
I'm
you,
not
bro?
like,
They're all bought out. They're all bought out.
yeah. I mean, I'm not like a don't go vote because, you know, it's just
That's
not
an
politically
opinion, by the way,
correct.
guys. I don't know
It's
for a
not
fact
politically
they're bought out
correct.
or not.
Yeah, no, don't listen to my craziness.
Yeah,
But
no,
ultimately,
this
it's
is
just like,
nonsense.
it's just like,
Nonsense.
bro, these guys are, you know, they're all way too wealthy to care about what's going on with you and me right now, you know?
That's actually something that me and Jay talk about a lot within politics. So, did you know that any politician besides the president could keep all of their private businesses while being in office?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So, oh well, shit. Then awesome. You're doing better than like 95% of people already.
No,
So,
yeah, I know.
so with
That's the problem.
so how could you expect politicians that are just people? They're just fucking. They're people at the end of the day, to have the
Mhm.
best benefit of everybody while also thinking about the best benefit of their business. That doesn't make sense. So in that case, what you do, you make it a rule. Hey, you want to become a politician? We'll pay you better. We'll pay you better, but you can't own private businesses. At that
Mhm.
point, it's still not going to be enough compared to what you're going to make with your businesses. You
Most
understand?
definitely.
But nice enough that you could live fine. You know what I mean? Like a nice upper middle class type living.
Yeah,
But
I definitely
but is the
feel
work going to be worth that? You have to find out. But you're gonna have the people who really want to be there.
exactly. That's what it breaks down to. It's like I feel like those positions do take a certain type of sacrifice, and they do take a certain type of individual. Like, man, I want to say it was the president of Uruguay, but don't quote me on this. He's like one of the most like, or it's the president of one of these South American countries, and that sounds horrible to say, but I'm just not freaking. I can't keep my head straight. But ultimately, the guy gets paid barely anything, and he lives in a very frugal means. Like, you know, like he doesn't take any of the tax money from the government. Doesn't get paid anything. He just lives in his little farm, but he's very well educated. You know, he runs the country, and like I feel like that's kind of like, not to say that like everybody that goes into the government should get a psychological analysis and like be freaking super frugal, but like it takes that type of person. It takes the type of person that actually cares about other people and that like is in their nature to put other people first to be in power. And I feel like, you know, nowadays people don't care who's in power, you know. People don't care who's making the rules.
People
care
care.
if
They don't want to know.
Yeah, they just don't care.
I think people are. I want to say they don't care. I think they're scared.
Yeah,
I think people are genuinely too fuck. I don't think people are stupid as we make them out to
they're
seem.
aware and they don't care. That's what.
They're
No, I don't
fucking
think
terrified. I think they're fucking terrified.
I don't want to mean that people are stupid or anything like that.
Oh no,
It's not
but
like
they
that.
could be, and they choose to be in some essences.
It's not even ignorance in a sense, but it's like it's silence. It's like a lot of
Yeah.
people, like I said, they're just too distracted with their day-to-day lives. And
Yeah.
it goes back to the system. Like this is the way it's designed. Nobody has time to think about anybody else. You know, you're out here, have a million bills, have a million like dodgeballs to move around and like trying to not get hit by. Every day is like another monkey wrench. So nobody really has time to take care of each other, in a sense.
You're right.
In a sense, and it's also not the culture. It's not what's marketed in music, movies, or anything that we watch on our day-to-day basis. So like we're not bred like that. So there are a lot of factors with it, but once you realize that helping other people is actually like more rewarding, and it's gonna bring better things for you, not only everybody, but for you, and that's how everybody can get forward. It's like if we work together, like I feel like that's the unlock, and like once you keep going back to that, you're winning.
Oh, we lost you.
What fruit is that in that picture, bro?
Which one?
The picture that you have as your
screens.
Your screen. Your
that's a banana, bro. That's a
banana.
That's what.
That fruit is actually it's said to, don't quote me, I'm not a doctor, but to treat cancer, and like the leaves as well. I mean, I have an aunt who's pretty much prescribed actually CBD, which is one of the things that opened my parents' eyes into like the marijuana world and the benefits that it might have, and also like a bunch of like she didn't get prescribed this by Western doctors, but she started looking into a bunch of stuff and started taking like teas and eating a bunch of it, and like the teas that they make from the leaves, they're very beneficial for treating cancer. But yeah, that's no, there's no studies out on this because they don't want studies out on this, so you can't verify this with your local .org organization.
Yeah, or if there are, they're just like they're deep in there. You really gotta do research. No. I mean, that's what it is.
No, this type of stuff is discredited. They don't want this stuff to be common knowledge.
Well, from their perspective, who would really win? Like from the company's perspective, they're gonna lose their bottom dollar. Their associates are gonna lose, and then the people that make the ingredients, and then who wins? The average person. But to them, it's just a stat. You're just another customer. Like, think about it. Why are there privatized hospitals? What sense does that make? Literally, if you feel better, you're not gonna go back, and therefore they don't make money.
Mm-hmm.
Just like why are there privatized jails
and prisons? Yeah, that's exactly what I was just thinking.
Like think about it. They don't fucking want you to fucking do better after. Who's gonna be in there? How do you make your money? And then you pay taxes to fund that. Either way, it's all fucked. It's super fucked.
That was a huge factor of like I don't want to say disbelief, because I was definitely aware that there was something going on in the world, but like just kind of like my like disgust with like the way that America was dealing with this whole thing is because hospitals are literally getting paid per diagnosis, per patient treated, and per like patient treated with a ventilator. So like how can you expect there to be some type of like like integrity when you're literally telling people like, hey, if you just say that this guy died from this, you get paid more. Doesn't matter what it was. Doesn't like my grandma passed away during this whole thing, and she was totally isolated during the whole time. Like she was literally, before this whole thing started, she was already in bed, like in her deathbed, pretty much in bed rest. Like she was already old age. Like we all knew that it was gonna happen. It was totally like the best way to go. But still, like, everything was going on, and like she was just like getting worse and worse. And she died during the whole thing. And I remember getting called like middle of the night. I was actually working. I was picking up fruit, and I get called, and I pull up, and after the whole thing, the guy that comes in and does like the actual death papers and all that stuff. He's like, hey, did she have coronavirus? Are you sure she didn't? And she was like pushing for it, like asking us multiple times. And we're just like, no, man, like she's been totally isolated. It's like, what the hell? And it's like, I was totally aware of it. I wasn't going to bring it up at the time, but it's like, yo, these people get paid, every time that they say this. So it's like, how can you expect the numbers to be on point? How can we don't even know what we know. We're just out here like on the water with no life vest.
We literally cannot expect them to be 100%, because either way, it's not like we're giving everybody tests. It's not like tests are available for everyone anyway.
For everybody either. Yeah.
They're not. But
yeah, like I said, it goes
they
back to
can
like
be accurate.
it goes back to making sure you're taking care of yourself, because like they're not
Right.
telling you to exercise and take care of your mind and eat right. So it's like we got to make sure we're doing that, you know.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
Oh,
and that's what it's all about.
no, and I think that we've done, especially Jonathan over here, has done an
Nah,
incredible job
I've
at like
seen him
at like changing his
getting
diet.
into it.
Nah, Jonathan's been killing it.
Health is wealth. Health is wealth.
I'm very proud of him in that aspect for sure.
Dude,
Health
like
is wealth. And support your local farmers.
And support your local farmers.
support your local farmers, bro.
Miami fruit, ladies and
No,
gentlemen.
absolutely.
I'm glad you guys are low key woke to like a lot of people just don't understand because they don't know
Bro,
this because
but
they've never thought about it. They've
But
never
this is
thought
what we're
about
doing
like,
this for. This is what this podcast is all about,
Yeah,
bro. Just enlightening
that's why
people,
I love it, man.
bringing
That's
different
why I
views,
love it.
different, knowledge to people, bro. With a little bit of nonsense, bro. With a little bit of reasoning.
I love it. I love it.
Well,
You guys
we're
are
gonna
doing
wrap.
it.
We're gonna wrap up the show, Carlos, bro. This has been a
Let's
pleasure.
do it,
Thank
man.
you for
Let's
coming
do it.
up
You know we
on
can
the
talk all
show.
night.
Oh yeah, no,
Oh,
we'll keep
bro,
on going.
we were about to.
Yeah,
We were
yeah,
about
yeah.
to.
But we're gonna
Bro,
have you back on the
much
show
love,
soon. Hopefully in person, bro. I want to give you a big old hug, bro. Thank you so
Sick,
much for coming
man.
on the
Sick. Don't worry.
show.
I've
Very
been
nice meeting you,
isolated, bro.
Carlos.
Hey, man. Much love and respect, bro. Again,
You
you
wanna
guys are.
throw your information for the grams? So if anybody
Yeah,
wants
man,
to know
throw it
about
out
your
there. Whatever you
Yeah,
want
man.
to throw out there.
It's a little tribute. It's Carlos _ D3RD. So Carlos the third. I'm the third of my name. But yeah, it's pretty much Instagram. That's the best place to reach me. I'm pretty
Keep it real.
disconnected elsewhere. But show some love. We could collab. We could do anything together. Again, I'm probably gonna be hitting these guys up. I'm working a lot more with them because
Let's
I
see it.
love what you guys are doing, bro. Something Divine and the KNR
Do
podcast,
it, baby. Let's
knowledge,
do it.
nonsense, and reasoning. Everything about it. It's just like it's beautiful, man. It's
Coming
beautiful. I
together,
love it.
and we're happy that you're on board, and
No, man, we're very happy to
the
have you
future's
on.
bright, man. The
Most
future's bright.
def, you already know. Anything you need from me, man, I'm out here
I was
supporting.
here too,
Vice
brother.
versa, brother. We love you.